I love football because it gives me pain. You can only love something that can hurt you.
Ooh.
I am an England fan and I want our team to win the World Cup.
When Liverpool comes calling.
Wow. The one goalie who influences the game the most is...
Yo, what's going on, people? It's your boy Adi Bayawekin Femwa, and welcome back to the Beast Mode On podcast. Alright, before I introduce today's fantastic guest, I want to give a quick shout out to our sponsors eToro, who are offering £50 when you deposit £200. What a great way to start your financial investment. So if you're ready to get into the financial field and invest your own money, head to go.etoro.com/beast mode. Okay, today's guest has played over 800 professional games. I'm going to say that again, 800. Probably arguably one of the best goalkeepers and recognisable in the English game. England international, FA Cup winner. Listen, the maddest thing is my voice is gone, so you lot have known this, but I had to do this because I'm gassed and honoured to sit down with, for me, the legend, Mr. David James. What's going on, my brother?
Oh, thank you very much for that introduction. Yeah, I'm all good, man.
Yeah, you can see my voice is gone.
I can hear, yeah.
My voice is gone, but so I'm gonna do less of the talking.
Okay.
I'll ask the questions, and if you don't know, right, about this podcast, right, we like to give our flowers. So figuratively and literally, sorry. And when I was doing my research, right, I found out that not only are you a bad boy goalkeeper, but you're an incredibly talented artist. So you've done a book, like, brother, listen, so what we're doing here is he bought you this gift. So listen, man, look.
Straight up, yeah.
Listen, for you to go and continue, so I'm going to have to call in for a little beast mode artwork.
I'll tell you what I'll do for you.
Talk to me.
I'll do a painting of you.
What?
I'll do a painting for you. What kit do you want on?
It's got to be Wickham.
Okay.
It's got to be a Wickham kit. But if it's going up for me, I would love a Liverpool kit.
Okay.
I ain't gonna lie, because I tell my son, he's old enough now, so he knows I'm lying. But up until he was like 7, I told him I played for Liverpool.
Okay.
It's a Man United supporter.
I'll incorporate these paints. Do I open it and nothing happens, does it?
No, yeah, man.
Just make sure. Right, cool. I will. I was thinking of doing one. I've just been mad busy.
Before we get started, what the painting thing? What inspired you to start doing that?
So my dad was an artist in Jamaica.
Okay.
I didn't know that. I only met him a few times.
Oh, swear down.
Yeah. So my dad was an artist in Jamaica, and so like everyone did stuff at school, but then stopped painting at school. Went to Watford, started sketching again, bored in mid-digs, and the lads were like, wow, it's amazing. I'm thinking, all right, cool. So I basically did a sketch of 12 players, did a calendar back in 91, I think it was. Again, wasn't doing any painting, just sketching when I was at Liverpool. And then I was at City, actually. I think it was 2005 before the World Cup. Someone said, can you do a documentary? And we want to interview about the World Cup and do it in an art gallery. And at the end, can you do a painting? I'm like, I don't paint. He said, yeah, but it'd be really nice if we could do a painting. I'm like, yeah, but I don't paint. I'm like, yeah, but it'd be really nice. I'm like, okay, all right, whatever. They gave me a canvas. I did a silly, I'm trying to look on the, oh yeah, there we go. The City one. I had this little bit of hair down here. I used to fiddle it. So I painted my chin, kind of fiddling with this bit of hair. Anyway, left it at that, and I got the bug.
Okay.
And then just been painting ever since.
Take me back to a young David James as a kid. What was you like in regards to just your outlook of life?
Good question. Single parent family. Lived with me mum, brother, and grandparents for a while in Hatfield. Don't remember anything before that.
Right.
Then moved me, my brother, my mum to Welwyn Garden City where I was born, and I don't know, It's funny actually because you're asking a question. It's only recently that I've been thinking about it.
Okay.
In a more sort of deeper sense.
Deeper. Yeah.
Yeah, you can live all these years and not think about things, or they have a version. But yeah, then my brother and sister started coming over because I'm one of 8.
You're one of 8.
Yeah, well, one of 8 between my mum and dad, and one of I don't know how many if you add everyone up. But
So how does that shape you? How many boys, how many girls?
the 8 was 5 and 3 boys to girls. I think 6 to 2.
In boys?
I think, yeah.
Any of them play football? Where do you come age-wise?
Second to last.
Oh, so you the pup of
Yeah,
the...
me and my younger brother came over. It was kind of flip-flopping between here and Jamaica.
Yeah.
So me and my brother came over with my mum. Yeah, and I know most of them. I haven't met all of them.
Yeah.
But
Any of them play football? When you was young?
None of them are sporty.
None of them sporty?
I didn't play. I mean, the thing is, if from a footballing side, I didn't play football till I was 9 or 10. Never involved in school. Didn't have anyone in the family who was kind of encouraging me to play football.
Right.
I didn't know anything about it really. Just one day, just joined my friend's team because I wanted to be with my friend, not to play football, but just hang around my friend, and that was it. So yeah, sport wasn't really a thing in our family.
Was you naturally sporty as in a kid? Most fit?
I was competitive.
Okay.
I think, yeah. I mean, I used to go to a boxing gymnastics club when I was younger.
Okay.
Yeah, Mum sort of put me
So,
put me in that club. Joined the gymnastics team at school. The only boy in the lesson. But then, I mean, again, this is kind of the more profound aspect of it. I love getting awards.
Okay.
And trying to get records or certificates and stuff like that. So I was very sporty because you do a race or you do something, you get an award straight away. It's kind of instant gratification. Yeah. And then through secondary school, did every sport.
But so I always look at it like this. Keepers are keepers because they can't play football. That's how I was growing up. Did you go into goal as in... Was you just naturally gifted to go in the goal, or did they say, "Nah, man, you're offside, go in the goal"?
No, I was. It feels like a vivid memory. I was a kid on a field at school, in the middle of the field, and there was a game of football going on around me. And I looked behind me, and whoever's in goal was not saving anything. I just thought I must be able to do better than that. Went in, stopped a shot, caught one, and everyone went, "Oh, wow, that was amazing." And it was, again, is that instant gratification. It's kind of like, if I can catch one, let me try and catch another one.
Yeah.
And that was it. And back in the day, the need for goalies to play with their feet wasn't a thing.
Right.
Kick a ball, that was about it.
Yeah.
So I just basically flung myself around a goal, saving shots. That was enough.
So, you mentioned that you was raised from a single parent. Who, if you can remember, who was the first person that bought you your first pair of gloves?
My mum.
Yeah.
I think I probably begged her for them.
Yeah.
I had 2 pairs of gloves I can remember. A pair of Sondico Ray Clements cotton things, which I was knocking around on the field with some friends, let someone else wear them, and they nicked them. And then I had a pair of black, green, and white. It was weird. It was like table tennis
padding,
the pimples on a thing.
Yeah.
And I used to wash them religiously. My first boots, I used to wash them. Used to take all the studs off, clean everything in the living room, watching Blue Peter or whatever. Until the one day you left them in a bag and they got a bit mouldy. And that was it. You just put them on mouldy then.
Yeah. I was always off that, to be fair. I was always off that. So so we've talked about the young DJ, yeah? And now we're talking about Watford. So Watford was your first introduction? Nope. Tell me.
No. So, as I say, 10 years old when I get into school football, youth team football, whatever it is. I think I'd got to the county or the district side, whatever, at 12. And then another friend who I was playing football with, his dad went, "Oh, we got trials at Tottenham."
Okay.
Kind of like, "Oh, cool." And I can't, again, walking around the quads in Sir Fred's in Welling Garden, school friend, I've gone, "Oh, I'm going to Tottenham on trial." We went, "Oh, that's good." And I'm like, yeah, good. That was it. It was kind of like, I wasn't boasting. It was just, that's what I'm
just
doing.
a conversation, yeah.
We spent a year at Tottenham training in so White Hart Lane used to have these big car parks, indoor car parks. I don't know what they were originally, but that's on match days where people parked. That's where we used to train indoors, diving around on little school crash mats.
We were tougher them times, man. We were tougher
Yeah,
back then.
yeah.
We were tougher back
Just
then.
fling myself there, yeah. We had one, what we thought was a chuck out game round the corner on some asphalt. I was rubbish, but I stayed. And then we had a game against Watford. This is a year later, near on a year later. Lost 6-3. Rod Thomas scored 5 goals. Rod was the English Pele, under 14s superhero, whatever.
Okay.
And I just thought, that's it, it's finished. And it was weird because I didn't have a plan to be a professional footballer.
Okay.
I was just playing it because I liked the competition. And then Watford asked me and my friend to go and join them the week after. And it was like, when you play next, I got 3 games in a week. And I'm like, 3 games?
Yeah.
I'm going.
Yeah,
And that was it. So at 12 years old, 13 years old, go Watford, go through all the schoolboy stuff. Had a chance maybe to do high jump because I was still in athletics. And then got through to the reserves where I was rubbish. We won the Youth Cup in '89. Magical. Beat Man City 2-1. Rod Thomas scored the winner, as he would. And then made my I was a reserve team.
Rod Thomas was at Watford?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Played against Arsenal as a teenager. And if I remember rightly, he used to go out and the professionalism wasn't quite as good back in the day for a lot of players anyway. But we used to love Rod. Then I had a year in the reserves where I was horrendous. Absolutely horrendous. Yeah, to the point that I kind of didn't think I'd have a career. And the weird thing was that the following season, I think Watford sold Tony Coton to Man City for £1 million. The number 2 goalie, for whatever reason, I thought was going to be starting. And literally a few days before the first game, they've said, "Oh, you're going to play, Jamer." Well, what, first team? It's like, yeah, you're in.
What? So let me ask you a question. There's a few things that. So when did you know, or when did you think that you was of a level? Because it always looks like, or it seems like, you play for you. You know what I'm saying? To get that competitive. Just when did you realize that? Nah, man. Like, I've seen other goalies. But I'm good.
That's a good question. It sounds like, when do you think you made it? And I know you didn't say that, but to me that sounds...
Before that, because I think there's, when I can play, and then there's the...
I never felt that way, because
that's what I wanted to know.
So this is what I was going to say. I mean, physically, and I don't want to make this sound like it's binary. Physically, I knew I could do everything.
Okay.
But there was being able to do what was necessary at the right time. And sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't.
Right.
I think the big issue, and it's the thing in life, it's not just football, is having either the mentor or the coach, the person next to you who can kind of put some realism, have an objective opinion rather than a subjective opinion. And again, I think part of the nature of the 80s, especially in football, was, you got beat up all the time, not physically, but mentally, that you were never quite good enough. You had to do better. And I just had that mentality that it was never good enough. So if I felt I was good, then I would feel that I would be thinking the wrong things. Does that make sense?
Yeah. So then at that young age, when you thought the number 2 was going to be the number 1, but you was the number 1, what do you think they saw at that point?
I don't know.
Nah?
I don't know.
Oh man, you've
No,
got
but I used to. Well, so I was in the reserves, and my teammates were going, "Oh, you should be in the first team."
okay,
But that's your mates telling you.
right.
And there's a bit where you go, "Oh yeah, be my mates" type, and no one else is saying it, so you don't believe it. Whether I was lucky, which I probably was, to play that first game, because
Right.
you hear stories afterwards they couldn't find a goalkeeper for the first game. I mean, today, goal to get injured 5 minutes before kickoff, there's 15 in line, what type thing.
Yeah.
So I may have been lucky, which is fine because most players have to be lucky at some point.
We need luck, 100%.
We lost the game 2-1, so I kind of it was a bit like the Tottenham moment. It was kind of, okay, well, I've had a game, that's it. And then Gaffer said, "You're playing next week. You're playing next game. Playing next game." And after 10 games, it's like, actually, I'm kind of like the first team goalie now.
Right.
Was I at a level? There was bits where I could do stuff, and I always felt that the athleticism allowed me to possibly do more than others.
Okay.
But then, weirdly, again, if you haven't got the right kind of communication with the right person or people, then you end up sort of second guessing and looking for. How can I say this? You're looking for confirmation elsewhere.
Okay.
And that's usually newspapers or I mean, newspapers predominantly, especially.
Where was the validation there? So let me ask this, right? Because Graham Taylor at the time, one of the most respected managers, him putting faith in you.
No, he left.
Oh.
He'd gone.
So who was the manager at the time?
Colin Lee.
So Colin Lee's taken over and then put faith in you.
Yeah. There was a few. So right, great. I mean, Graham Taylor was there when I was a kid.
Right.
I nearly lost my apprenticeship for probably being stupid.
Yeah.
Nothing bad, but not being stupid.
Okay, yeah.
I nearly left because I was smoking, and my dad phoned up my coach and told him, and I was like, "Oh no, they don't like smoking. It's not worth me going in."
Okay.
Then I basically got a bollocking from him, but it was kind of like Graham had left, but he'd installed the right values, if you like, in me as a person. I think Steve Harrison went in. What's his name? I can see him from Wimbledon. The old Wimbledon manager, Dave Bassett.
That's it.
Dave Bassett went in. Then I think it was Colin Lee. I mean, during this time, and it's weird because having the sort of thoughts on before, I like my regularity.
Yeah.
Not OCD, but I like things I like to know where things are.
Creature of habit.
Yeah. And there was a lot of turmoil at Watford, I think, going up to the time that I ended up in the reserves and things weren't good. So that kind of made sense for me not playing well. Also, you've gone from an apprenticeship where they told you what to do to day one. It's like, what are we doing in the afternoon? Or it's up to you. You're a pro now. It's like, hang on a minute. Please tell me what to do.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think Colin had faith in me, but I think Colin also was put in a position where he didn't have many choices to start with.
Okay. Yeah.
Then again, maybe I did some good things, and it was kind of like, we don't need to go elsewhere. We'll keep with this guy.
What's the biggest thing you learned at your time at Watford? So through all the trials and tribulations, the uncertainty, the breaking through, the Graham Taylor installing certain things, what do you take away from that period of your career? Start, basically.
Football is not always a nice game.
That's what you learned it there.
I mean, I love Watford. It was my family.
Okay.
And again, I've sort of described my upbringing. So for me to find a family unit was important. I would spend, as an apprentice, I'd go in, do all the jobs. We'd finish at 3:00. I'd go into the admin office. I'd go into the ticket office. I'd go into the club shop, and I would just live there until someone shut the door, and I'd go home.
Yeah.
And then next morning, it's kind of like, I want to get back in there. So I was part of Watford, and Watford was part of my life, massive part of my life. Forget all the bad results and performances, because you've still got your family around you.
Yeah.
Not they would talk to me necessarily about technical or tactical stuff. And then Steve Perriman took over. And I knew I wasn't going to, I laugh about this, because I knew I wasn't going to stay. I knew there was interest from other clubs, Chelsea, Villa, Liverpool, whatever. I think Everton may have even sort of shown an interest. So I knew I wasn't going to stay because my agent had advised me not to sign a new contract. You will be able to go in the summer. And he got to the point. It got to the point where Watford had offered me a new contract. I've turned it down. And then Steve Perryman, we're walking off the training field at Stanmore. He's gone, Dave, because you won't be able to sign a contract, we're going to have to. It was something weird, like put you on the transfer list. I can't remember what it was. It just killed me.
In what way?
It was kind of like you're letting me go. Even though I want to go, you're letting me go. It was like, I felt like I was in control of things, and then, yeah.
You got to elaborate on that.
It would.
No, reason why you got to elaborate, because I understand what you're saying, that you wanted to leave on your terms, basically. And him throwing a spanners made you think, wait, do you not want me?
Yeah. So even though I knew that nothing had been agreed for me to go anywhere. So in the end, it was still at the end of the season, we'll see.
Yeah. So it's still up in the air. Yeah.
But that was on the sort of the basis that Watford weren't going to kind of allow it to happen. It's almost like a safety net. Yeah, I'm like a kid sort of on it. And all of a sudden that safety net was taken out of the way, and it was like, what? Yeah. My heart sunk.
So let me ask you, right? So I know we've skipped, but now you've got to that point where clubs are interested about you. So it's gone from you needing instant gratification and validation to knowing that clubs. So I'm desired. I'm wanted. When did that? And I know you're going to say you always want to do more. So if you allow yourself to be like, oh, I've made it, you wouldn't have kept on pushing. I get that from you. But I'm a player, and I've known when clubs are interested, I'm like, oh shit, like I'm doing bits, especially the caliber of clubs that were coming in for you. What was that moment like when you, exactly, Villa, Chelsea, Liverpool, Everton, these clubs are being linked with you? How did that make you feel before you went?
Again, it's an interesting one because back in the day, there was only one transfer window. I think it was last week in March.
See, I can't even remember back to all that now.
Yeah,
I can only remember it the way it is
most of the people
now.
watching this won't have been alive then. But so the two transfer windows we have now, it was one transfer window.
Yeah,
and
I remember that.
It was open transfer. Sorry, forgive me. There was one closed window. Does that make sense? Yeah, because you could transfer throughout the season. Yeah. So the fact that no one had come in and offered the 1 point whatever it was million that Watford wanted, kind of meant that they're interested but nothing's happening.
Right.
They're interested but nothing's happening. So then it's not that you're doing great. In my head, it's not that I'm doing great and therefore I will definitely go. It was more I have to prove myself more in a way.
Okay.
Which at times had a negative outcome because you're trying too hard to do stuff to prove that you're worth someone taking the leap.
All right. So towards me, like, reason why you're a legend as well, because you played for my team and I grew up watching you. So when Liverpool comes calling, first, tell me how big of a moment was that?
I'm a Luton Town fan. I tell this story a lot. So I'm a Luton Town fan who loved going down to Luton with my mates. It's usually two of us, but yeah, there was that thing. We weren't really interested in whether Luton were going to get promoted or relegated. It was more, actually, again, because I watched them for so many years, they're in different leagues, but it was the social thing.
Yeah.
And I knew who Liverpool were. I knew who Arsenal were. Used to go and watch them every now and again. But Liverpool came in one day and they had this goalie, Bruce Grobbler, and he's run out and he's caught a corner on the penalty spot. And I looked at it and just went, wow, I can do that. Yeah. Because I was an athletic, I was a high jumper. It was kind of like, I'm going to try and do that now. So all I did was just run around trying to catch crosses all the time, jumping as high as I could. It was one of these weird things where, like, today we're using phones or technology to look at something, follow it, and try and reenact it. Back then, it was literally going to the game and doing it. So for me to get the opportunity to go to Liverpool, first of all, it's Bruce Grobbler's team. And they were, they were good. But I wasn't looking at them as the best team in Europe or England or whatever you want to say. And because I think there's a part where I maybe should have, because I moved to Liverpool, I saw Bruce. We messed around competitively because he's highly competitive as well. And I just tried to play football like Jomo did.
Was you ready to be Liverpool's number one when Liverpool come in for you?
No.
No. So let me ask this question for you so I can better understand you. Are you a individual that is, put me in an environment and I'll adapt to the environment. I won't go in with no preconceived notion. I'll just adapt to the environment. Is that how you are?
Yeah, but there's a...
yeah, of course.
There's a caveat to
Of
that.
course. Yeah. And that's what you're going to tell me. But it just helps me understand.
Yeah, I was I ready? No, I mean, I think the record will show that I wasn't ready, but that was more to do with the fact that first of all I'd gone into a completely different culture.
Okay. Talk to me about that, because I don't know. So I always say that I think football's the same, but it's different. So I understand different cultures, but I also like to understand when you've gone from a Watford and the same from different clubs I've gone to, and are you going to a Liverpool culture? What was that? What was the biggest culture shock? What was that you still noticed? It's like, fucking hell, shit, this is different.
Right. So football culture, back in the 80s, not social culture, 80s, 90s, a lot of alcohol.
Okay.
A lot of clubbing.
Okay.
I especially, I used to drop my friends off at clubs when I was at Watford.
Okay.
All right, I'd escort van. The lads would be like jumping in the back of the van, kicking the panels in.
Good times.
And I would drop them off, right, after a game. And it's not that I didn't go out, but I didn't drink. I drove my van, just go home after game quite often, have a Chinese takeaway. But they were all my friends, and that's what they did. They're all good dancers, and I couldn't dance, whatever. But occasionally we'd go. It's not. I don't want to say I never went out. Also, I DJ'd, so I spent a lot of time driving up and down to Cardiff.
Okay.
Where I had my friends and relationships. So I went to Liverpool, and what I thought is, going back to the question, I have to adapt myself to fit into this culture.
Okay.
Which was, is a beer, is a beer, is a beer. And it was kind of like, okay, cool. I can drink. But the problem I did have, big problem, it goes back to the point even at Watford. If you have the right people around you to give you some advice on, first of all, what to do at a given time, or secondly, what you're doing and how that's affecting what you plan to be doing, which is playing better football.
Right.
I'm not a very good drinker and footballer.
Okay.
And it doesn't mean that I'm drunk on a football pitch. It just means that if I drank on a Wednesday, then it would probably affect me on a Saturday.
Right.
And I was drinking whenever I could, within legal footballing, contractual, whatever. So when I first joined, again, Bruce, I love Bruce. Bruce decided to play for Zimbabwe. I ended up playing the first game in the Premier League for Liverpool against Forest. Bad game, as in we lost 1-0. First live game in the Premier League history.
Jeez.
Yeah, so weirdly, it's kind of like, and I didn't even think anything of it at the time. It's kind of like, Martin Tyler mentioned that I've got 3 mates from Cardiff coming up to the game. I was buzzing. But yeah, we lost the game 1-0, but it kind of just, it was a little peak, and then it slowly just slipped away, where I hadn't realised the magnitude of playing for Liverpool. It wasn't that there wasn't good performances in there, but it wasn't, I hadn't appreciated that this club was being watched globally. People's opinions were forged on the basis that this was the biggest club in the world, or one of the biggest clubs in the world. And if you're not perfect, then you've done something wrong. Whereas at Watford, if I let in 2 bad goals, it's kind of like, okay. And that was the bit that I hadn't been prepared for.
Okay.
Um,
Question first, how old was you when you went to Liverpool?
literally 21, but 22 when the season started.
People forget how young you was. So you mentioned about the culture. So now you've not only have you got pressure on the pitch, like you said, one of the biggest teams in the world. Now you're on them Liverpool wages. How did that affect you now that your lifestyle is now elevated? So you dealt with the football pressures. What was the financial pressures that now came with being a Liverpool player?
I think these are the, how would you say in economics? I think it's almost like the hidden hand.
Okay.
Because first of all, I grew up with nothing. Yeah, I grew up with nothing. Mum was a nurse.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I am.
It was either my brother getting a magazine or me getting a magazine. Some people don't even get that chance. So it's not, I don't begrudge any of that.
I know what you mean. Yeah.
And then all of a sudden you got money and it's like, okay, well, my kids aren't going to go without. So you buy them everything, do everything for them and all that stuff. I'd like to think I help people out. So I've always been generous when it comes to helping people out.
Yeah.
What it didn't do was allow me to develop my empathy skills.
Okay.
I wasn't particularly annoyed, and this isn't at the get-go. I think this transcends quite a lot of the time at Liverpool. I was the athlete who just wanted to win and keep clean sheets and be the best goalkeeper, even though I wasn't quite sure how to measure that. And if that didn't happen, then I wasn't a particularly nice athlete because I don't like losing.
Okay.
Which again, when you sort of balance it with the opportunity to go and drink and drown your sorrows. I wasn't an alcoholic, don't get me wrong, but I just didn't know how to moderate alcohol. So especially the beginning bit, that sort of led me to losing my place. And that first 2 years was bad in so many different ways, performance-wise. But possibly the best thing that happened to me because I needed that. And I think at 22, going into 24 years old, you're a kid still in football.
Still trying to find yourself.
Yeah.
Man. Still trying to find yourself. So are you saying like you was one of them man that in the changing room that was a bit of a bully boy? Like it was like your energy and aura was a bit like you were standoffish. Is that how you was?
Yeah, or your best friend.
So it's okay.
I was noisy.
Right.
Yeah, I think.
And you ain't small as well, so if,
yeah, I'm not a great.
I'm looking at it now in the chat. I'm thinking, ooh.
Yeah, but I wasn't. Like, I was a bully at school.
You was.
Yeah, and I got punched in the face, and that stopped me from being a bully. It was quite nice. It was not that I wanted it, but I needed it.
Yeah.
And I think what I say people forget that growing up environment in a football club. You watch on social media now, and there's all these 16, 17-year-olds posting stuff about how they're doing well at their clubs, and hopefully they're in a wonderful environment.
Yeah.
In my environment, you would walk into a changing room, and it would probably be a comment about your mum or your nan or something like that, right? And that was normal.
Yeah.
So if you couldn't say something about their nan or their mum, then you're getting, verbally bullied in the change room. It was never anything physical.
Yeah.
In a violent way. I mean, every now and again you might just get Stevie G wrote about. I got one of the apprentices and stuck him in the bin. But I'd sort of grown up in that environment where I could handle myself verbally.
I was going to ask that. So that never ever qualmed you. So you was never like, shit, change room. I can hold my own.
Yeah.
You've mentioned that. So the 80s, 90s, that's when I started watching Liverpool. I supported Liverpool, I think, from 8, 9, older brother. John Barnes is the reason why I supported Liverpool. So
I cleaned his boots for Watford.
See,
only on a couple of occasions.
Was he cool in that? Was John Barnes cool?
Yeah, it was good.
Yeah, I met him. Like he tried to say we're the same age, but it's a lie. He's much older than me. You know what I'm saying? But you was Barnes, Redknapp, McManaman, Fowler. When you're talking about the changing room, but So for me, these are iconic for me as a young. I'm a real. So what was that like? What was the changing room? As in, not because you. I know what you're talking about in regards to.
Right.
Rather,
So I was at Liverpool for 7 years.
okay.
So the change room I walked into was very different to the change room I left.
Tell me why.
So
Talk to me.
again, we go in. I go into a change room full of superstars who've pretty much done everything.
Yeah.
Bruce Grobbler's, John Barnes, Ian Rushes of this world, and Ronnie Whelan's, Jan Mulvey's. They'd had tremendous success doing what they did, and they were still doing it, which meant I was trying to do what they did.
Okay.
Hence, sort of having a drink. And it's not like everyone, the whole team met up in a pub, but it didn't take much to go and have a drink. Anyway.
Yeah.
Then there was a shift, and players were brought in who, like me, I don't think fully appreciated what it meant to play for Liverpool.
Okay.
And the results were going bad. Those first 2 years, I mean, we were finishing in positions that Liverpool hadn't finished for decades, it seemed. And that comes with friction. So the change room then became a battlefield verbally.
Okay.
And that wasn't good.
At that time, how did you deal with? It just seems like so many different layers coming at you. How did you, David James, deal with that process?
I wasn't a very nice person.
So okay, all right.
Yeah. I mean, this is the thing. You kind of. I think the difficult, and again, this is difficult that you won't see from the outside,
right?
Especially if you're not playing.
Yeah.
You have a bad game, and you think, "Oh, I wonder why he's having a bad game." And if you're not having a game, then you don't know what's going on. But yeah, it was just you're trying to find a happy place where you can go into work, enjoy being in work, do your best, and if that's good enough, then you're in a happy space.
Yeah.
Sort of going into work at times wasn't fun. I wasn't playing. There's this constant sort of badness around, and it wasn't fun. I mean, I went up to, because we didn't do sports science then, I went up to 17 stone.
You know what's so mad? That's my normal playing weight. But anyway.
Right, okay. Yeah, your thighs are slightly bigger than mine, and yeah.
Yeah, go on. But yeah, I get it.
I went up to 17 stone, and it was just, I looked at it, I'm like, what's going on? I wasn't playing, so it was like, I need to change.
Yeah.
And then it was kind of like, if there was one moment I love, it's probably this, because no one told me to do it. I just went, I am going to get fit.
Okay.
I started doing extra bits myself, not eating all the crap, not drinking as much. And I then got back into the team. Can talk about fortune. I think Bruce got injured with 10 minutes to go against Leeds, if I remember rightly. And I was on the bench, and it's kind of why I was on. And that was it. I didn't miss a game for 3.5 years then.
Wow.
But my mindset was like, I need to be better.
Yeah.
It's not that we didn't have nights out. It's not that we didn't do all that sort of stuff. But I just knew that I had to be better to be the best.
Yeah.
Getting back in the first team, playing games of football, working hard. Yeah, then you find your happy space, in that kind of
I know that turbulence,
and effervescence of football life. You're kind of generally in a happier space.
People still talk about the Spice Boys. Do you feel like that term or that team was unfairly judged?
Now that I'm outside of it, no. I mean, so we had magazines which were becoming, lads mags.
Yeah.
Were a thing. We had TV shows dedicated to entertainment and stardom. And we had a Premier League which had gone from one live game against Nottingham Forest to live games around the world.
Yeah.
Manchester United, it pains me to say it in one way, but I'm glad for it. Man United had made the Premier League bigger in a lot of ways by showing what excellence looks like. And where we weren't doing on a football field, we were winning it off the field.
Yeah.
So we were in these magazines, we were at these TV shows, So yeah, I mean, I think it would be interesting had David Beckham not married Posh,
Okay.
whether we'd have been called Spice Boys. But anyway,
Right.
it's, I think that was kind of like a little dig in our ribs. But I wasn't part of that when they were being called, when the lads were being called it, because I was a dad.
Okay.
I was a few years older than the rest of the lads, and it was almost like, there's Spice. I'm not the one who's on that show, or even though I did some modelling, it's like I'm not doing what they do.
Yeah.
But did we deserve it? Yeah, we did. But we also, I think, shifted the focus in our era. Not saying that there wasn't the odd player, the George Bests and the Worthingtons of this world who'd sort of commanded. And I say this as a tagline that I use, as a Playboy lifestyle.
Right. I'll get you.
We actually, in our era, created, I believe, more of a entertainment, football fame lifestyle, rather than it just being good footballers and pretty boys.
Let me ask you this, right? As a goalkeeper, and I've got real good friends. David Stockdale's one of my closest friends, right? And talk to me about the mentality and mindset of a goalie, because I can miss a chance. A last minute header can come and I can put it over the bar. We can draw the game. Even we could lose 1-0, right? Or, deem that as a mistake or not. But the level of scrutiny, if a keeper makes a mistake, is amplified because, of course, it leads to a goal. You know what I'm saying? What's the mindset of if you make a mistake? So if I make a mistake, shit, it's a goal. And look, do you think it's fair? Because I do think we understand the game, but just talk to me about the mindset of a goalkeeper, because I banter with him all the time. I banter with him all the time about it. And I'm always curious about that mindset of a keeper.
Okay, so I'm very fortunate that my career spanned, first of all, 20 plus years or whatever it was.
Yeah, salute,
but more importantly, it spanned shifts in technology, fundamental shifts in technology. I mean, technology is advancing all the time, but fundamental shifts in technology, fundamental shifts in coaching.
Okay.
Physical coaching, analytics and stuff like that, video coaching, whatever. So at the beginning, it was kind of, you just had to have really thick skin and try not to beat yourself up too much if there was a mistake made. Because first of all, you knew that no one else would understand. They would just say it was a mistake. Secondly, you would never be 100% sure whether it was a mistake or not. That might sound a bit odd, but you didn't have the access to videos and multiple angles and stuff like that.
Yeah.
In time with the shift to technology, first of all, you can get the video of the game and watch it back. With the shift in coaching, then there was an opportunity to review. And again, I go back to this thing about growing up. It wasn't something in football where you would always have someone, well, let's have a look at the video. We didn't have that access.
Yeah. Okay.
So as technology went on, it came to a head at Liverpool, actually, the lack of technology. Back in 97, I think it was. Things weren't going right. And I didn't know what was going wrong. And this might sound absolutely bizarre. I didn't know what was going wrong. I'm missing crosses. I'm letting in bad goals.
Okay,
whatever. Yeah. And the papers jumped on it. TV seemed to jump on it, whoever. And I was getting battered. Absolutely bad, left, right, and centre. So every little mistake or non-mistake was a mistake. And it was Calamity James, you're the worst.
Just, the maddest thing is, I was going to ask about that, but I'm glad you, about that. So, you mentioned about being tough-skinned. When you heard that, was that just a brush off the shoulders, or was that, but how did that impact you?
You know what's funny? Right. So I, with my kids, we watch Calamity James.
Okay.
With Crackaway. Anyway, it's a great movie. It's a great movie. I listen to the soundtrack quite a lot. And I'm thinking, did I whistle this coming into the car park? Because back in the day, the media, the press, the hacks, whatever, would hang around in the car park.
Right.
The only place they wouldn't go is inside the change room.
Yeah.
Or the door to the facility. Whereas now the media, you've got to get your passes out and go through the electronic gates and all that stuff. So I'd walk in someday, I don't know, House of Pain, Beethoven or whistling Calamity James. So I'm thinking,
Did I?
have I given them cause to do it? I had to get my mum used to keep all papers, and I was called it at Watford, so it wasn't you. Anyway, having thick skin, the problem I had was I didn't know what was wrong.
Okay.
Right, and it's easy to say, oh, you let a goal 3 legs, which I don't actually think was one of them, but that would be easy because you go in 3 legs, right? I know, but it was kind of like, if I'm not catching across, why am I not catching across?
Right.
If I'm not making a save, why am I not making a save? So I couldn't understand why this was happening. Ended up speaking to a guy, the club doctor managed to get me to speak to. I requested a psychologist, sports psychologist, because I'd heard about them. This guy came around my house. We had a chat for 2 hours, and it culminated in, what's the biggest problem? I'm like, yeah, I'm not dealing with crosses properly. And he goes, when did you last practice crossing? And I went, a couple of weeks ago. And he went, maybe you need to practice more crossing. I was like, yes, good point. Yeah, good point. It was that obvious.
Right.
But I was so in it that I couldn't see it.
Yeah. Okay.
So from that moment, it was kind of, again, this idea of being able to actually reflect objectively, to be able to put things into place. If things are regularly a problem, then obviously you need to do more work on that. If it happens every now and again, then it might be something else. So the thick skin bit kind of didn't work. I can't say that I liked headlines like that.
Okay.
Because again, it was just a generalism.
Yeah.
I used to play PlayStation, so yeah, it was reports of me playing PlayStation, and I'm going to grounds going, oh, there's an Xbox JMO, and I'm like, mate, it's PlayStation.
Yeah.
And if you're going to have a go at me, get it right.
Get it right. So let me ask, so with all that, the media, the pressure, did you ever go through a vice where it was not addictive personality, but was you spending on stuff just to be like, this is just how I'm dealing with it?
I mean, I've got an obsessive personality anyway.
Yeah, to be fair, I gather that.
Yeah, I mean, what's a vice? So it's funny actually, because I know someone had said something ridiculous somewhere, that I used to buy a car if we lost, which was rubbish, absolute rubbish.
Hell of money then, jeez.
No, it wasn't like at a car park. I'd just keep changing cars. But
okay.
I became, and I think what was interesting about, again, this whole thing about Liverpool, I think stress is subjective.
Okay.
I think understanding it was the big issue. And where I hadn't fully understood, first of all, as I said to you, when I signed, but the understanding why things weren't working, not having the communication with whoever I need to be able to go, right, you missed a cross, right? Let's go, let's do some work, let's let's get this right. And then not have the stress. It was kind of like, something's wrong, don't know.
Right.
When I get stressed, then I would, watches, I'd have a watch, I'd wear it once, we'd lose, and it'd be like, want to swap, and I keep.
Is that how you was?
Of course, yeah.
Oh, so whatever you did before it lost, you'd be like, I've got to change that.
So people call it superstition, ritualistic behaviour. I was terrible.
Yeah?
Yeah, I can't, 48 hours. I'd get into a stage where it like 48 hours.
Swear down.
Yeah, but do you know what the mad thing is? I remember everything. 48, not literally minute, but there, like in this, again, this about habitual nature. I couldn't talk to people in the toilet. Someone came out, it's like, I'd be doing all these, I'm not going to say they're weird things. They all made sense at the time.
They're weird a little bit though, because just slightly though, but I'm in the change room. I'm the same. Like if I scored a goal, I would try and emulate that week. So if I scored 2 goals, I'd try and emulate that week. So let's say I had a Coke on a Friday. I was like, oh shit. But I had a Coke. I scored 2 goals. I'm having a Coke on a Friday.
Got to be the Coke.
So we're like that as footballers. I think footballers understand footballers.
I think people are like this, and that's the thing. People are like this, but
yeah, I get you.
But my point is, again, this is just because you don't understand why you do what you do. I mean, I sound like a psychologist now. I didn't understand why I was good.
Okay.
I knew I could be good.
Right.
But the flip side of that is I didn't know why I was bad either.
Until when? So until when did you realise that you was good?
Till I joined Aston Villa.
And how old was you in that?
29.
So from 21/22 when you got to Liverpool up until 29 was the only time when you was like, listen, fuck everything else. I'm cool.
No, I had Paul Barron. I love the man. My coach at Aston Villa. We would talk. It was a weird thing. We would talk. I wasn't being told what to do and expected to do something. I was talking with my coach, and it was kind of like, we would do these things, and we didn't have the video, but we could talk straight away about what happened in the game, and to the point that we understood what was going on. And if someone had said something, I remember a game, off the top of my head now, we played Newcastle, guys scored from outside the box. Brazilian lad, I can't remember his name now. And the newspaper said,
Asprilla.
No,
he's Colombian.
He did that living.
Yeah, sorry, my bad. He's
who's taking the free kicks for
Albert
Solano?
Oh,
I think it was him. It might not be. All I remember is it was Aston Villa, and I'm outside
Albert's
the
French, I think, as well. You said Brazilian. I was all over the place. But God, brother.
edge of the box, edge of the 6-yard box, and he lobs me.
Yeah.
And the newspaper or the TV said, James too far off his line. And then me and Paul would sit down. It was like, yeah, but you had to be in that position because of this, because of that.
Right.
Then all of a sudden it's kind of like, okay, yeah, cool. And if I made a mistake, it's kind of like, what were you thinking? Oh, yeah, well, da-da-da.
Yeah.
And then you're not dragging your thoughts around with you all week long.
I totally get
and
that.
waiting for the next game to try and rectify it.
Yeah.
So all of a sudden it was kind of like, we trained in a way that my abilities were put to the limit, where we could see. Whereas again, this might sound mad. It's like if you're good at penalties and you only practice penalties, you're never going to be sure what you like with volleys.
I hear you.
Whereas if you practice all kinds of shooting, then you'll know what's good and what's bad, and therefore you go out with confidence that if a volley comes in, I can or I can't.
I can do it. Yeah, right.
My training was putting me to the limit, and my limit was quite high, which was nice. So all of a sudden it's kind of like, I'm capable of doing things now. I'm not having to guess. I can go out and do them.
Let me ask, and it may sound like a silly question, but I am generally curious. So from 21 to 22, that process, and I'm not saying are you glad, but going through that process, was it needed to make you a better keeper? Yeah.
No, I'm laughing. But, I never thought, I'm going to say unfortunate, I never dreamt of having the career and being, I might have looked at, I did at 15, I think, I looked at Peter Shilton's England record and thought, I'll break that. I didn't know how, but I think I'll break it. But that kind of only lasted for a year. In the idyllic dream state career, you make your debut at a certain time, and then you go on and you win all these trophies, and you play 200 international games and never have a bad day.
Yeah.
It doesn't happen. So 100%. For me, to be able to even sat here, have this conversation, is because something must have gone right before it.
Right.
And if the things hadn't gone wrong in order for them to be right, then we wouldn't be sat here. So it wasn't nice, but it was necessary.
So you said about when you got to Aston Villa, it was Paul
Barron.
Paul Barron, right?
Be, yeah.
So up until that period, so he was your coach? He wasn't a manager, he was a coach?
Goalie coach, yeah.
It's the goalie coach. So was that the biggest difference, that you just had somebody conversate and ask you your mindset? So it was a process rather than it being like you're off your line, and that was what it was. I was off my line because a minute before I figured if I had this angle to win it. So up until that, so what was the managers like?
Think of all your managers.
Yeah.
And how many times they spent with a goalie coach and a goalie chatting about goalie stuff.
Yeah.
They don't.
Yeah.
No, the managers manage the team, the goalie. I mean, there were two completely different entities. It's funny because going back to, and this isn't Liverpool fault, because you're a Liverpool supporter, we're talking about Liverpool.
I love what
it sounds like it's all Liverpool. It's not. This is pan football.
Yeah.
The live game might be on a Sunday at the beginning of the Premier League. There might be 2 a week. introduced football on a Friday night. What? 3 games? Possibly 3 games on a weekend?
Yeah.
So all these progressions, if you weren't the live game and you didn't have a VHS or Betamax to record it,
Yeah.
then you'd have to watch Match of the Day. Now, Match of the Day didn't show all the games. So a lot of football was lost.
Yeah.
So the idea of kind of sitting and watching a team in preparation or watching back a game, it's not that these facilities weren't available, but it just wasn't done. You know, the manager wouldn't say, "Come on, guys, let's go and watch video."
Yeah.
When you join England and they put a video on, it was kind of like you're looking around going, "Well, do we have to watch
What are we
it?"
doing?
So by the time 2000 arrived, or 99, 2000 with Villa, this wasn't so foreign to actually. Well, it was a new thing which I liked, but in football, people did it. So yeah.
What advice would you give modern goalkeepers now? So for all trials and tribulations, all your experiences, turbulence, up, down, what advice would you give a modern day keeper on top of having the social medias, like you said, the 16-year-old, this is how, what modern advice would you give goalies now?
Oh, this is tough. I've already described how. Do you know, I nearly played for Watford as a 16-year-old in the FA Cup semi-final.
Yeah.
Yeah, both the first team and reserve keeper got injured. I was the youth team keeper, and in the end, the chief executive's son, who played in Wales, was signed up to play the game. It could have been me. It sounds like getting out of the jungle here, but it could have been me. So there's a massive generational gap here of expectation where I started. I can give advice to a young player now,
Okay.
but he isn't third in line for first team. If you're looking at the top level, maybe lower down, of course. So my advice is more about being able to communicate is key. Being objective rather than subjective about performance. Thick skin one, I don't know. It's actually not bad to feel bad.
I get you.
But that goes back to point one, having someone to communicate with and expressing that you feel bad and not feeling ashamed about feeling bad.
Yeah.
And just enjoy it, which sounds really hard because if you don't like letting goals in, that's one thing that comes with being a goalkeeper, yeah.
Let me ask, how would David James deal with social media now? So the David James playing, how would you have dealt with it?
Well, I'd probably be the best goalie in the world. Probably on my 150th cap. I'd have a social media team, I'm sure.
Yeah.
No, I don't know though, because I used to answer all my fan mail. I used to read it, send a card off. I felt there was an obligation if someone has taken the time, especially in that kind of era where someone had posted something.
Yeah,
a lot of it was, I don't mind doing charity, but a lot of it was, like same letters were going to everybody in the club. And it's kind of like, I can't be dealing with that.
Yeah,
Send them a postcard. But I felt obliged to answer. I think on social media, given that when I first went on social media, I did respond to people, that there's a part of me that thinks that I might want to do that. But obviously, if you're popular and there are a stream of comments or requests and stuff, I would have someone else do it, I think.
So if you, after a game, got your phone, chilling, and there's a message and it was like, David James, man, you're dead, you're whack. What are you?
I don't have notifications.
Yeah, but you saw it. Don't give me the fence. You saw. Are you a person I'd be like, what the fuck? And then type back and say, what
right. So when I first got on social media,
okay.
I used to read comments, not all of them, but every now and again, and someone would say, Butterfingers.
Yeah.
I'd reply back, mate, don't eat butter.
Okay. So you witty with it. So you're like, yeah, cool.
Yeah.
You would, yeah, all right, cool.
But it doesn't mean that I like people saying bad things about me. But and depending on what the comments are, I mean, I've blocked people before because it's kind of
many times, me too.
But if I was a player currently, then I couldn't. I think it would be impossible for me to be able to read through it.
Okay, yeah, that's what I'm. That's what I'm asking. I'm asking if you was playing and your mentality, of course, you're flipping back now because right now you're evolved. So you look at it now through different lenses and different eyes. But back then, if you saw, like, you had a game, Solano chipped it over you, and then I'm sorry, my brother, and then you see it, and then man are just ripping how they are now.
My social media team would CGI AI that thing, so I made the save. You know what I mean? Or hit the bar and then go in. Yeah, I think do you know what? It's really interesting you ask the question, because people often ask about today's players compared to before the social media era, and I'm like, back in the day, there were, I want to say, 4 newspapers. None of them worth anything, but there were 4 main newspapers.
Yeah.
So their opinion was being read by everyone, perceivably.
Right.
So population of 50 odd million people, imagining everyone follows football, they read one of these 4 papers and they generally said the same thing. Well, the whole of the country thinks you are that person. That's how it felt.
Right.
Today with I don't know how many different social media platforms there are, including WhatsApp, which is one of those weird social media ones.
Yeah.
But it is a social media platform. You've got all these platforms, but you choose who you listen to or watch. And therefore it's kind of, well, not everybody's going to watch and listen to everybody on all these platforms. So in theory, the 50 odd million people won't all agree on the same thing that they did before. But now what you're saying, you really put something in my head now, because I'm thinking the players can't access these social media comments really and read through them all, because you're going to end up getting bad somewhere.
Yeah.
Irrespective of whether you're the best or the worst, you're going to get bad.
100%.
Well, then where'd you get your source from? Because everything's on social media now. Oh, wow. Do you want to be a player now with that kind of pressure?
So that's what I would ask, because I feel that back in the day, there was the papers. The papers were the ones who set the narrative.
Yes.
So even if people thought you was crap, they weren't saying it to you. The paper was. Whereas it's instant now, so now everybody's got an opinion.
No. People are telling you when they saw you.
But that's different. Whereas, the reason why I say that's different, because they would only see you. You told me, like, when they come up to you in the street and be saying it would be at the games that people will be chatting their shit. Whereas now, people are so brave and they're instant chatting their shit. And I think that's what differs. It's people can read and their narrative, they'll be
You don't have to see it, that's the point.
Yeah, but you don't have to see their opinion until you get to the games. Whereas you see their opinions 24/7 now, especially if you're on social. That's what I see.
Oh, I don't know though. I don't.
I like this.
Yeah, I don't think there's a winner or a losing.
No,
I think the point is, if you're not on social media, then, which you don't have to be,
Yeah,
then you're not exposed to it directly.
100%.
Someone could put something in your comments or repost or something like that, and you don't have to see all this stuff. Don't have to. I mean, the algorithms might change where they allow you to. Anyway, whereas the thing with the paper was, it was kind of, you knew that people knew. And I remember once commenting on it. It was kind of like, I'm being called a dodgy goalie. If I go in a supermarket, I'm thinking the woman behind the till is thinking dodgy goalie.
I guess that. Yeah, I hear that.
Because everybody knows the same thing, if that makes sense.
I hear you.
So I don't think there's a winner or a loser.
There's one hub.
But this goes back, and when you talk about the advice, I think just as a human, if you've got the right people around you, you can have the right conversations, then you can kind of talk your way out of it, as long as this isn't something which is going to threaten you physically.
Yeah.
Then I think there's a way of talking yourself around it, and okay, these things happen.
So BMO has teamed up with eToro to help you out on your financial journey. So if you're ready to get into the financial field and invest your own money, head to go.etoro.com/beast mode. Right now, when you deposit £200, you get an extra £50 to kickstart your portfolio. What would you tell your younger self about managing money?
What would that's a very good question. Do you know what? The younger self knew how to handle money.
Yeah.
Yeah. I had everything made sense.
Right.
And I think myself and other people made that not happen. So what would I tell my younger self? Do what you know is right. Yeah.
Tell me one thing you regret.
I don't have any regrets.
You don't have one regret on spending money,
No.
spending something you purchased on. But I bought an X5 before I bought a house. It was the flipping worst investment ever. I changed it to auto gas, had flipping problems upon problems.
Right. That's a different question. You could ask a different question.
So elaborate.
Did I
on
ever
that.
spend money on things I didn't need to spend it on?
That's what I mean. Yeah,
I don't have any regrets because in the end, I had like the thing I learned from
of course, but yeah.
Clothes.
Yeah, I was never one like that. That was good. I like cars.
Yeah, clothes. I mean, I suppose the problem with cars. I mean, cars. I had numerous cars. It was kind of like you knew that you were losing money on them. If that makes sense.
I didn't when I bought my X5.
Oh, you didn't know? Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
I remember Mumsy telling me, nah. I said, nah. I started living outside my yard. But I bought and it was a 4.4 engine. And I was living.
Of course, yeah.
It was
well, you're not going to get a
no, there was a 3 litre one.
You're not going to get 3 litre.
Yeah, but I would have. But it's the biggest. When I changed it to autopilot, because I was at Torquay, so I was driving from London to Torquay in it. So, oh Lord, and I didn't even know it depreciated. It just depreciated so quick. But I regret it. But you have to go through that process to be able, as you get older, to be like.
I think clothes. Because you can spend, I did spend fortune on clothes, which, and when you asked a question before about sort of changing your character to fit into what you think the character looks like, you can only wear things once.
Yeah. What?
No, that's the thing. You kind of go, once you've worn it, it's kind of like, if I wear that again, everyone will know I've worn it again. And then you got like a cupboard full of stupid clothes. And the thing is, like Vinted and stuff like that.
Yeah,
you kind of see what you had on there. Oh, £5.50. Cost me a little bit more than that.
Them ones that but
I'm also a hoarder.
How are you? Not to be fair, so am I when it comes to clothes.
Yeah, I mean that's the thing. I regret buying it. Not regret. I didn't need to buy it.
No doubt.
But then I won't throw it away because I'm thinking, first of all, fashion wheel will turn.
Is it true?
And my flares will come back in. And the other thing is, they were that good, I could wear them again. What are you shaking your head for?
Oh, no, sorry.
They will.
To be fair, I see man them rocking flares. So
I've seen people wearing them. I'm not saying they should be, but
I see people. Let me ask this question. Yeah, final one.
I'm a 70s kid.
Yeah, I'm an 80s.
So you missed out on flares. You don't understand what they really mean.
It's not. Yeah. I'm not. I won't lie. You can have that and bring it back. I respect it. You know what I'm saying? I won't rock it.
Turn ups on your suit trousers.
To be fair, I used to do that though.
Okay.
I ain't gonna lie, I did. And I used to have the loafers.
No, they're not coming back.
Trust me, Michael's going to bring them back the movie until he can slide and do the moonwalk. Loafers are coming back.
They'll come back with a corset, so don't worry about that.
Let me ask this, right? Do you think players get enough help with money management?
I think the problem players have, and this is since the beginning of money in football, and we're not talking millions, we're talking about players earning money. You've got organisations like the PFA who have financial advisory positions. They do financial help, advice, whatever.
Yeah.
But then you've got players' agents who inherently have relationships with IFAs, and therefore they would be advised not to use a PFA's advice. I'm not saying you have to take PFA products, but if a young player who has no knowledge of finance is going into an industry which is essentially underpinned by finance, to be taken away from the governing body who's giving you advice, or your union who would give you advice, I think is dangerous. And it's not to say that the IFA that one player has isn't good or is good. It's just that the player will trust the agent, and the advice they're going to get is on the basis of that trust. The David James of today would also tell the David James of 20 odd years ago, when he was 22, be careful of agents.
Okay. So would you say that there'll be like clubs should do more to structure a package when it comes to finances, to be like, okay, it's short-term contracts, certain amount of your money will go X, Y, and Z, and that, do you think that would be practical or beneficial?
Yeah, do you know what? In 2005, I went to the NFL rookie symposium in Miami, and they had an auditorium. There's 200, I think it's 270 rookies a year they have. And it was on a financial thing. And the guy stands up at the top on the podium and he goes, the average wage in this room is $750,000 a year. Ooh, you hear this big cheer. And I'm thinking, I've just been talking to the number one draft pick. He's on 40 million, right? So there's 39 at least others who aren't on 750,000. You got to pay your CRS. You got to do this. You got to do this. You're going to buy your mum a house. You're going to buy your first X5. You're going to do.
Don't do that, but yeah.
And he basically broke it down in really, really basic terms. And he said, you owe $13,000. And everyone went, whoa. Because he was telling them, this is what you have to do. This is what you will do, or you probably do. And this is where you will be at the end of it. Now, how many of those players took it on board, I don't know.
Right.
But the point was they were able to get all the players and basically give them an instruction on how to deal with their finances. What a club can't do, and this is, I think, where it's always going to be a problem, the club can't tell player A to go with financial advisor 1 or 2 or 3. They can give them advice on this is the realities of football. Your careers last 8 years long. You've had 3 years already or whatever. And therefore get them to do it. But then we end up with the first position. Do you go to the union or do you go to your agent? And if you're a parent listening or a player, read your contract, especially one with your agent, and find out whether there are clauses in there that you have to go with his financial advice. This is where the traps are. And when I say traps, it could be beneficial, but I think a lot of the decision making is taken out of the young players' hands already.
Tell me now, so you was at Liverpool 7 years, you talked about Villa was the point where you was like, okay, cool. It just timing, alignments. What was it like leaving Liverpool? What was it like going to Aston Villa? What was that process like?
I think there's ironic twist, I suppose. I was Robbie and Macca at a race day, drunk, and I met Doug Ellis, and a conversation was had about how sad he was for losing Mark Bosnich, to which I basically said I was the best goalie in the Premier League, even though I was number 2 at the time. And then a week later, he wanted to sign me. Now, I had a year left on my contract, and this is key because the Bosman rule had just come in.
Okay.
No one talks about the Bosman rule.
Yeah,
it's kind of contract runs out, but that was a Bosman ruling. I could have stayed another year at Liverpool as number 2. And then
it was number 1.
Brad Friedel coming.
Okay.
Now, at the time, we were kind of
back-to-back 5.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it was obvious I wasn't going to be number 1. I could have stayed an extra year, been a number 2, maybe played a couple of games, whatever, I don't know.
Yeah.
And then gone on to Bosman. And my first thought was, I need to play. I don't want to leave. Right. But I need to play.
Yeah.
And again, talking about environmental stuff, Gerard Houllier had come in, and I don't know how much I needed to thank him for what he exposed me to, which was how bad I was, not just as a player.
Elaborate.
So he came in with a lot of, I want to say European, but French cultural stuff. Shake hands with your teammates, including Brad, which I didn't want to do.
You two was beefing. You and Brad was beefing.
No. But he took my place.
So you was beefing then.
I'm not beefing. It's just why should I shake his hand?
Because we call that beefing.
Oh, we could. Yeah. Do we?
Yeah, that's
could
beef.
we, okay. All right.
Yeah, come on now. You're like, hey, you took my place. It's slightly.
Okay. Yeah.
You'd be
okay,
like,
okay.
in your mind, you're like,
okay,
this is a dickhead. He's just taking my place. I know.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Yeah, right, cool.
Yeah. But then I shook his hand, and it was one of those kind of like.
Yeah. All right.
Cool.
And did you squeeze his hand when you like?
No. It was kind of like, this doesn't feel as bad as I thought it was.
Oh, okay. See. Okay.
Okay. Cool. It's something I took with me everywhere.
To be fair, listen, I think it's a must. This a must to
yeah,
shake
but the-
hands
okay.
with everybody.
Okay, so that's how bad I was.
Yeah, I could
That
see.
didn't mean that wasn't right for me. So Gerard introduced that. Yeah, plyometrics was coming into football at the time, which again is something I was enjoying, but weirdly it was with the wrong person and all this stuff. So I just felt, and I knew that my time at Liverpool had been done.
Okay.
Even though I didn't want it to be, and even though I didn't want to leave, I had to leave because I had to play football. I'd kind of give myself a target, which was getting back in England squad. So joining Villa was perfect. As far as I can remember, negotiations wasn't even the hassle because I wasn't worried about that side of things. I just needed to sign in and play for them.
Did your wages drop in regards to?
No. I mean, the contracts I was on at Liverpool had been, I think it was 4 or 5 year deal I'd signed.
Okay.
But it wasn't about money.
Okay.
It was me getting in to play first team football. So I went in there. Change room was great. Some really interesting characters: Paul Merson, Dion Dublin,
Right.
Tails. Yeah, it was really good change room, and PB, the goalie coach, who. I mean, Joe was really Joe Corrigan, who ran to Liverpool, was great. And this is, I find it interesting now, looking back, how in the world of football, you've got your manager who might change. It's weird. The manager might change, but the team stays together.
Yeah.
The goalie coach and the goalkeepers are literally so different because you've got one guy in charge of 3 people. Or 4, depending on how many goalies he's got for one position.
Right. Okay.
All right. So in a way, he's got to be friends with everyone.
Yeah.
While creating a competition to get the best out of them, but also part of recruitment to replace them and all this stuff. Now, none of that made any sense to me when I was Liverpool's number 1. I've had, I don't know, a dozen number 2s. Tony Warner was one of them for many years. And, I got on great because I was playing. As soon as Brad came in and took my place, and it's all of a sudden, well, how did he get here? Well, it was the goalie coach who was the dynamics all changed.
Right.
But when I met PB and we started chatting, it was kind of like, do you know what? You get it. And he was talking, he didn't have any favourites. He just knew that one goalie needed slightly different words to another one. And, I was signed as number 1, but he was ready to have to put someone in, and we could talk about these things.
Let me ask, sorry, I don't want to cut you. Is there, you tell me, a level of insecurity as a goalie because of that, because it's constant? I mean, I think in football, you're constantly battling with your strike partners, strikers, your teammates, but they're your competition. So it's constant. But when you're telling me in regards to exactly that, 4 keepers, 1 man, sees your weaknesses, sees your strengths, then tries to blend. Okay, even a conversation when you got to Aston Villa, was there a level of not ultimate confidence or security? It's the different word, in security in you as a person. So you was able to take on the conversation of, okay, he may see this in that person, but as a whole, as a single entity, you're the best out of the environment you're in. Does that make sense what I'm saying?
I had security is an interesting one because, I'm not signing 7-year contracts here where it's like, in fact, I'm one of these people who was actually better on a short-term contract.
Right, okay.
Because it always pushed me.
Yeah.
Even with Liverpool, I think is a great example. I signed a 4 or 5 year contract, and it's kind of like, not that I don't have to prove myself, but the thought that if I don't do it, then I might not be here, kind of goes out the window. And Villa, I was only there for 2 years, even if I had a longer contract. But the security, a slight misnomer, the confidence that being around a coach like Paul probably gave me a better level of confidence in my ability. But it was always every game was kind of like having a debrief. Could have done this, could have done that. And will he thank me for saying this? he said to me one day, he went, "You are a product of that Liverpool environment." I said, "What do you mean by that?" He went, basically they've created over decades an environment where nothing is ever really good enough.
Okay.
And he kind of told me not to be thinking that way because it basically smashes you to pieces. It was kind of like, yeah, actually you're right. You know, if I say, similar to what you're saying, if I say 5 shots and then drop one, but it doesn't lead to a goal, then I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
I've made a mistake, rather than, okay, well, it hasn't gone in. So what? Catch the next one.
I feel you. Was you ever not driven? I always say I use this. There was one time I only got one regret is leaving Swansea to chase a financial. I was driven by finances one time in my career. You know, you said by Villa, it wasn't about money. It wasn't. Was you not ever driven by money, but did that 4 or 5 years change your mentality in regards to financial? Not comfortability because it can change. You know what I'm saying? But
I mean, there's always financial aspect to everything.
yeah,
Interestingly, the moment that I love football. I'll get this in now. I love football because it gives me pain. And I think that you can only love something that can hurt you. Yeah, I understand what true love is. It gives you pain, right? If it doesn't give you pain, then
I know what you mean there.
right.
But yeah,
But my love for what football was when I was younger changed the moment I signed a contract.
okay.
Because I used to play for free. I used to play for fun. Even though I wanted to be the best, it was kind of like I'm here because I want to be.
Yeah.
As soon as you sign a contract, you're there because you're getting paid to be there. So there was a completely different shift. I still love the game. I never chased money, and it's not that I didn't need the money or need more money.
Right.
It's just that my motivation was to be the best athlete.
Okay.
One of the big issues in football, as in with any kind of, I'd describe as not high net worth career, is that there are people out there who try and take advantage of it. When you're a young footballer being advised on what to do with your money by people who aren't necessarily qualified to do it, then you go, well, I don't know, maybe that's the right decision. So it was always a case of trying to make sure I didn't do the wrong things. But yeah, apart from changing watches, I couldn't help other people.
So to be fair, because I was going to ask this, how many times did you change when at that period that you look back? How many times you change your watch when you was going through that?
Loads.
Go on, what's the?
Oh yeah, I couldn't wear Breitling.
Because
Every time I had Breitling, we lost.
so you stopped wearing Breitlings.
Yeah. You know, Rolexes are all right. Panoramas.
So I beg, talk me through the process. So you lose, you got a Rolex. You're like, okay, I need to change this.
Yeah.
Right after the game.
Yeah. Well, the Monday because it was the
Hey,
weekend.
I don't know what you mean.
What have you got? What have you got? Yeah. No. If it's a draw, I might wear another week.
That's sick. Hey, let me ask
Yeah, but you know when like you have your favourite. We used to wear shirt and ties in. Your favourite tie, and if when you wear the same tie, same jacket, whatever it was, it was. But it's not craziness. It's just not knowing why things happen.
So, okay, let me ask a question then. Is there a watch you've got that you love to watch so much that it superseded that mindset of, but I gotta let this go? That you're like, it's staying.
And I think the ex-wife's got that.
Say nothing. Say nothing. I already know, but I already know.
Yeah, it's probably somewhere in the
All
drawer.
right, so let me just ask this question. What was the biggest standout for you when you talk back and look back at of David James in his 20s and in his 30s? And then also, how did maturity, like you touched on being a father, how did that not affect but change your game?
I think it's If you look at my international career, I think it's probably the easiest way of describing it, or the easiest way that this makes sense. I made my debut for England at 27, I think
Okay.
27.
Yeah.
Against Mexico. My second cap for England, I was 30.
Oh shit.
So I made 52 appearances in my 30s,
Right.
which is completely the wrong way around.
Right.
If there was
if there's a right or wrong way.
a perceived way, yeah. And again, you sort of talk about the experiences I had at Liverpool, Watford, whatever. which is funny when you ask questions and I'm thinking about, I didn't think that I had what it took to do what I did at the age of 19, 20, 21, 22.
Yeah. Okay.
But everything that I did demonstrated that I should have.
Right. I get you.
So, the 20s when you're supposed to be at your peak and all stuff like that, physical peak, I superseded that in my 30s. Paul Barron and plyometrics and changing the dietary habits and stuff like that. The main thing is going to Portsmouth 36.
I was gonna listen. I like the way you just seamlessly chat about it because I swear to you, tell me this is right. Right? Was it you played Man United in the semi-finals when Rio went in goal?
Yeah, that was 2008.
That's when you lot won the FA Cup. See, it came up, and that game there, I swear there was like this force field that didn't go in the goals.
Yeah, it wasn't down to me though. That was down to other people.
Yeah, but still, you was there. Because I love underdog stories. I love a culture, a changing room, and Portsmouth seemed like it had it from outside looking in. Right? What made that changing room so special?
I think we have to sort of jump back because we're going from Villa, you got West Ham with the relegation, Man City with me playing up top. I mean, they were great times in one sense, bad times if you include relegation, but they were important times. When I signed for Portsmouth, it was nuts. I'm asked at Man City training ground. Now I hadn't played pre-season. Joe Hart played.
Okay.
And I knew that Portsmouth were interested. And I spoke to the manager about being able to just have a chat with Portsmouth. Now, we'd lost to Portsmouth at the end of the season before, which basically helped them stay up. And the time we lost, I was effing at the radio, listening to Portsmouth supporters.
Was you?
We're staying outside. Fuck. Fuming. I was absolutely fuming.
Who was the manager at Man City at the
time? Stuart Pearce.
Okay.
So, anyway, sort of fast forward to the pre-season. I've walked in off the training ground into the physio room rather than in the change room. It was a shortcut.
Yeah.
And Isaacson's doing a fitness test or a medical. And I'm like, hello, hi, knock gaffer. We need to have a chat. It was kind of like, what? Just do me the service, and just let me do what I've asked to do. I didn't ask to leave; just wanted to chat. Anyway, signed for Portsmouth. Get a phone call from the England manager, Steve McLaren, and basically said to him that I was, looking forward to this new move, new chapter, so I could, push for the England place. And he gave me that line, that's why I'm calling you. We know how good you are. We want to have a, look at some of the others. Which basically means you're shit.
Yeah.
I don't fancy you. So thanks very much. And I kind of left Portsmouth. So the reason I'm saying this is because Portsmouth were relegation fodder. And the only reason I signed for Portsmouth, and this is key, really, really crucial, I phoned Sol Campbell.
Okay.
I said, Sol, you taking it seriously? He went, yeah, I am, of course. It's all right, cool, I'll sign.
Is it? Yeah.
Probably a little bit longer conversation.
I know what you mean.
Had he just even give me an inkling that he was there for a payday, then I would have said, I cannot play in a relegation team with this geezer in front of me. He was serious. I'm like, yeah, good. First 5 games, 5 clean sheets. Looking at my phone, waiting for the text from England. Didn't happen. And then, a few months later, it's kind of like, right, we're just playing football here.
Yeah.
This is good. We were nowhere near relegation in the first season. Second season, when we won the cup, the change room. I mean, Jermaine Defoe was part of that squad, or he didn't play in the final. Pete Crouch wasn't there at the time. I think there was a couple of other players who were kind of linked with Portsmouth's golden generation. Seems so apt at the moment, but they weren't part of that. We just, there was such a wonderful feel.
Yeah.
Banter. You know, I talked about banter as a kid, where you know, trying to get one over in a horrible way. This was like good old fashioned
Banter, jokes.
banter.
Yeah.
What you wearing? The bins are outside.
Yeah,
I think you're like, okay,
yeah,
mate. Sorry, I
Yeah.
woke up late. Whatever. Yeah, and just enjoyed coming in. You took, and let's say about the happy space. Another thing here, I mentioned Paul Barron at Aston Villa. I had Davy Coles at Portsmouth, goalie coach. Legend, another legend.
Yeah.
And he got me. And I think there's the thing with the outfield coach. He kind of doesn't need to be friends with everyone. The manager's going to pick the team he's going to pick. And if he doesn't like you as centre forward, the manager does, and you're still going to play, that's fine. With the goalie thing, because it's so tight. If there's a problem here, then there could be a problem. Big problem. Me and Coles, he got me. I was asking him questions about why I'm doing what he wants me to do, which I would never have done in the past. It was kind of, but not in an aggressive way. It's kind of, why do you want me to do that? I don't understand why you want me to do 3 of them.
Yeah.
Okay, well, good. No one's ever asked me that before. Let's just do one. It was like, cool. We're going to get on. And we did. So 2 years later, I'm selected for the England squad at 38.
So you talked about your goalie coach. Harry Redknapp gets a lot of praise. What was, you know, what was he like as a manager?
H.
Yeah.
I think he was fantastic.
Okay, there's something there.
You've been in the change rooms. You know this.
I know, but
you've never been in a change room where everyone likes a manager.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, 100%. So elaborate on that, because I always think that it's a personal relationship. Managers get you, may not get others, but get you. So my you know what I'm saying, my best manager was Gareth Ainsworth. He got me.
I like Ainsley.
Got me. Like, I went there at 34. Spent 6 years there, and when I mean he got me, and best I played stats, both on and off the pitch, he got me.
Yeah, and you need these people. So I can mention Colsey, but Colsey doesn't work without H. H had his way of doing his team stuff. I didn't necessarily agree, but I had a confidant in Colsey,
right,
where we would do our thing, and it was kind of like, okay, well, and when I say about happy, I always use this term, happy space. You need to want to go into work in the first place. And I got to the point where it's kind of like, if I walk off that training field and I felt like it was a waste of time being in, then there's a problem.
Okay.
And we would always get something out of it. If it was me and Colsey, if it was me, Nico, Davo, Jermaine doing shooting afterwards, there was always something that I would walk off the field and be like, okay, I'll do that again tomorrow type thing. But H, he just knew when to say something and when not, how to say it, how not to say it. I mean, the story which I don't like having to say, but it's one that I think properly describes how he works with me. So my cousins, my aunt was terminally ill.
Okay, so
my cousin had planned to get married whatever year, but he had to bring it forward a year, and it landed on the day before we played Everton away. And he said, "Can you come to the wedding?" I'm like, "This is a different David James."
Yeah.
10 years earlier, it's like, I can't go.
Okay.
And they would have known.
Yeah. Okay.
Don't ask. I'm like, hang on, I'll have a chat with the manager.
Right.
And I'm thinking, how do I ask H this question? It's Friday in Bedfordshire. I've got to be in Merseyside, and we're getting a flight up.
Okay.
H, can I told him a story. I said, what I thought is, if I drive up to Bedford a couple of hours and then drive from Bedford to Liverpool, a couple of hours, it'll be fine. I'll be there for dinner. And he went, "Jamo, do what you fucking want, son. Don't let any fucking goals in."
Yeah.
And I walked out of the room and I'm like, cool. 3 hours up to Bedford, 4 hours up to Liverpool. It was a dog of a drive. It was a Friday night.
Yeah.
We played Everton the following day, won 3-0, saved a penalty. I just thought, you know what? At no point did I even think that I was doing the wrong thing.
Yeah, yeah.
And I guarantee you, other managers would have gone, "You sure? I mean, it's a long drive. I mean, what if?" Which may have caused me to doubt if I was doing the right thing. But he just said the right things.
You know what? I'll always say this. Don't get it twisted. My story's similar in regards to how I felt walking out. Gaffer let me go to the Super Bowl. He let me miss a game.
Ainsley,
He let me miss a
he's
game.
soft, man.
No. He knew. And I think the next game, I kid you not, I probably ran 2 channels, and I never ran the channel for nobody. But for him, it was like, yo, but I get it. Like, he just got me, So when you say stories like that, I get it. So when you say you get it, I get it. So the question I wanted to ask in regards to, when you're talking about the Portsmouth time, and because I got my biggest success at 38, I got to the champ at 38. So with all trials and tribulations, don't get it twisted, I got promoted through, but that was my biggest footballing achievement. You winning a major honour at Portsmouth, 36, 37, after all what you've gone through, all the clubs you've played for, at one point being England #1, and then getting that FA Cup win. But talk me through that for you. Like, was it an essence of, not that you deserve it,
third time lucky,
but yeah, but of course, but for you, was it that this is, yeah, man, this is, I should have been feeling this.
I don't know. Do you know what? I talk about luck in careers, being lucky to have a career,
Right.
even if it's your debut or, people talk about being seen at the right game at the right time, whatever it is. I think if I went through 6 games we had in that 2008 FA Cup run, won 5 of them 1-0. And the only game we won 2-1 at was our only home game. Manchester United at Old Trafford. I think it was Nugent against Ipswich scored in the 84th minute. 2-1 against Plymouth, we were 1-0 down. I think Preston North End was a own goal in the 90th minute. Obviously Manchester United, then there were the semi-final and final. It was kind of like, when you look at it all, the only game that was ever one that we shouldn't have won was the Manchester United one, and we got battered.
I see it, brother.
Yeah, we got battered.
Yeah, but listen, when I mean it, I watched it the other day, and Rio went in goal, and I see it was
I thought he was going to save it as well. I was ready to run down length for the pitch and boot him.
Do you know the maddest thing is, because I couldn't remember it, so I was just watching it in its element. And I was just like, oh, maybe my phone just knew I was going to come and chat to you. So I was like, wait, did Rio save this penny? I was like, I couldn't remember. And then it was Montari.
Suleiman, what a player.
Kanu was there with you, man, in that, yeah?
Kanu scored in the semi and the final.
But because I'm glad, talk to me about like Kanu. How good was Kanu with his feet and that? Because supposedly he was like 58 and that.
Yeah. Everyone said he was old. I was thinking, if he's that old, shouldn't we be celebrating it rather than saying that he's old?
I'm all for it. Don't get it twisted. Big up Kanu, Uncle Kanu.
I'll tell you a story about Kanu. What a guy. What a man, what a legend. His birthday's the same day as me.
Oh, say that.
So, which I didn't know till after, weirdly. We play Middlesbrough away. So we fly to Middlesbrough. Kanu, I think he scored he went 3-0. He might have scored the 3rd goal. But he ran from in his own half all the way to the edge of the box, chips a goalkeeper. Right, it's the furthest I've ever seen him run. He had to get a wheelchair from the airplane to the terminal afterwards. Right?
What?
He was knackered. We had porter cabins with a lift.
Yeah.
Can you imagine porter cabins with a lift?
Yeah.
I mean, you got like 5 stairs there, and you used to get a lift.
I love it.
My running stats always beat Kanu's.
Yeah.
In a game. But giving the ball at his feet, and when he does that,
he
goes past people. And he's done it all the time. I'm like, this guy's been doing this for 20 years.
It's mad. For me, I love watching Kanu.
Yeah, and he was. I don't think I ever saw his laces done up. it just had this thing. He didn't do any shooting practice, so I can remember.
But he seems so calm. Did he ever get angry?
No.
He just, your changing room seems like, you know, when you like see like meme machines, like you just look like there's just hella characters.
Yeah.
And it just blends right.
So it's interesting because we had a very English changing room when I joined. Very English. You got an English manager, very English changing room, and it kind of put me back in my Watford changing room in a way.
Right. Yeah.
The changing facilities they belong to a university, I think. The gym was a porta cabin, which had a hole in the step up to the porta cabin with a plank of wood blocking the hole.
Good times.
And it was crap.
Yeah.
But there was something nice about it. It was it was honest, but crap. And the team were getting relegated or on the verge of relegation every year. And it was kind of like, okay, I don't expect any more than this.
Yeah.
But you go in the change room and the banter's good. You know, we played cards, we did all the things that we used to do. It was kind of like, yeah, I like this. And that carried us through to 2008. Then the dynamics changed. There was a lot of players brought in. The national language of our change room became French. I didn't have a problem with it. You had a lot of African players, French players, blah blah blah. We were buying quality players, if you like, and all of a sudden things started shifting, and it was really weird because you're talking about finance. When I was younger, I always wanted a Ferrari. Well, when someone else got a Ferrari, I wanted a Ferrari.
So, no.
And I had a friend who was a car dealer, and I'm like, I need a Ferrari. And he went, you don't want a Ferrari? Oh, I want a Ferrari. Yeah, no, they're rubbish. Don't get one. One day he said, get a Ferrari. Get it out of your system. So I got a Ferrari, and I drove it.
At what stage?
I was at Villa.
Okay, when you got the Ferrari.
And I drove it on a Friday only. And every time I drove it, I'm like, yeah, I haven't won anything to deserve this. Because I saw it as you have to be a winner to drive a Ferrari. Not whether you could afford it or not. It was just like, you have to.
That was your status. You put it up to win something.
Yeah. What have you done to drive that Ferrari? I've earned a lot of money. Okay, well, you're a footballer. That doesn't count.
Okay.
All right. Anyway, so when I joined West Ham, first thing was like, I'm not driving Ferrari, so I got rid of Ferrari. Going back to Portsmouth, the car park was good, but not outlandish. So it was kind of like, yeah, it's all level. Then one of the new players turns up in a Bentley convertible. And I was like, read the room, mate.
Who?
I can't remember his name, French guy.
I don't know. I just
yeah. I mean, the guy done well. It's not he couldn't afford it. It's not about that. But understand where you are. You're in Portsmouth.
Yeah.
In Southsea, and you're.
Let me ask you a question though. That's actually just knocked on another question for me. So read the room that way. Was there any way that you read the room the other way?
The wrong way.
However, so you wanna.
Yeah, when I was at Liverpool.
So you to fit in with the Joneses, you're like the car parts that I'll go and get me a car to match this.
Oh, keeping up with Jones. Yeah. But this is a human thing. I don't know, on super fast, if you want, in the footballing terms, because all of a sudden, when someone's got a nice car, I've got friends who, when I spoke to them going through their apprenticeship, they are busting a bank to drive a Merc into work, and I'm like, why? Well, everyone else has got, and I'm like, yeah, but the most thing that you got to worry about is your football, not your car.
Yeah.
So this happens right from the get-go.
Yeah.
But then this happens on every street in every part of England. So it's not a football thing on its own. I mean, when I was at Liverpool, you had to dress right, you had to wear the right stuff, you had to have the right watch.
Is that? Yeah,
of course.
I'm so curious about that because I always was the element of when Loney's came down to Wickham, it was exactly that. Look, I keep saying this, I say this all the time. I used to price check everybody. You couldn't wear over, I think maybe it was 250, 300, from top to bottom, trainers included, wash bags. So I was very off that because I didn't want people to feel like they was coming in to feel that.
The Ferrari was a different thing. When I was at City, I had a Ford GT. Same thing. I drove that twice.
Yeah.
Again, it was kind of like, why am I driving around this car? I had to get it, but I didn't want it. The moment Papa, I love Papa Diop.
Yeah.
He was one of the loveliest guys you're ever going to meet. He came in one day and I'm sat there. He walks in, I'm looking at his jeans, I'm going, True Religion, nice. His t-shirt must have been like, I'd imagine probably couple of £100. The guy looks good, man. Go out training, get back in. He gets out of his kit, gets showered, jumps. Where you going? Going home. I was thinking, the guy's got the best gear on to come in, to get changed for training, to get changed to go home again. That's bloody ridiculous.
Yeah.
And I used to, we used to go to the shops when we were up in Manchester, and I'll get the latest this, that, and the other, Billionaires Boy Club and all that stuff. And it was kind of like, I don't need to be doing this.
Yeah,
Why am I doing this?
Yeah.
So I completely changed. That's when Dave, I used to think I was a big man all the time because I just wear what I wanted to wear.
Yeah,
I felt more comfortable being me rather than thinking that I had to portray this kind of image. So it's understandable. It's not necessary. But talk about social media, I'd imagine today, if I was a footballer wearing what I like to wear, going down the shops, then that would be on social media.
Let me ask, so, you started saying that there was investment came into Portsmouth. You used to fly everywhere.
Oh, we had to. I mean, logistics, geographical issue, wasn't it?
We talk about, I'm a product of EFL, but we took bus no matter where we went.
No, I did that with Watford, yeah. No, we would fly up. I mean, it was...
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
What's that? I'm always curious. What's the bonus like? So you won the FA Cup. Is there a shitty bonus for winning because you lot wasn't expected to win it?
The rumour has it killed the club. Not because of my bonus.
It was you.
No, definitely wasn't me.
God, talk to me.
No.
Is that what?
No. I mean, you got to understand the dynamics in football. And I think of clubs even today, this season, who got into Europe or nearly got into Europe. If you're an undesirable club, and I say that respectfully,
I know
it's desirable
you mean.
for anyone, but there is a part where it's like, I'm going to join that team just so I'm in the Premier League, not to be successful necessarily. It's a stepping stone.
Yeah.
Well, in order to join that club's going to have to lure you in. And yeah, the wages are good. And I don't want to sound like a fan where they should be good enough. But the reality is that other wages are better.
Okay, yeah.
And if you're desirable for the Premier League, then it stands to reason that someone else might be interested. So for you to go to that club, they're going to give you bonuses. And I think Portsmouth was one of those. So it was kind of like, if you get into Europe, you get a bonus. Yeah, it wasn't going to change my life, but...
So it wasn't, so it's not like it was the biggest...
No, but I'm just one of many.
Oh.
And I don't know what their bonuses were.
Oh, so there was... You had the individual one and then the club one.
You'd have the winning the FA Cup bonus,
right,
which was, I don't even know what the number was. But every player you would imagine, especially if you're any good, would have gone, yeah, but if we get to Europe, I want this. If we get to Champions League, I want that.
Okay, yeah.
And then all of a sudden, we win the FA Cup, the European bonus kicks in.
Mad.
Yeah, but like I say, there'd be clubs in the Premier League now who had budgeted for Premier League survival, not necessarily European football, or they'd kind of go, they've had the rainy day pot.
Bournemouth's one of them, innit? Yeah, Bournemouth made Europe, innit?
Bournemouth,
Sunderland?
Yeah.
I need to...
Sunderland signed 11 players, didn't they, in the summer? I'm not saying they're in financial trouble, but it's just interesting when you think of success in one sense can actually be catastrophic in another. And I think that's what happened at Portsmouth.
I need to call my boy Luke 09. He must restaurants on him for a couple of weeks. All right, let's talk
I did a shoot with him.
Did you?
A shoot with him,
yeah, man, top.
Nice guy, yeah.
Top. So we ask whoever comes on here, whoever paid for England, the question, right? What's it like, or what was that first training session environment at England, and how much is the level in practice where you're like, did you get that? Because you seem like you're very environment's the environment, but when you was playing with the creme de la creme, what was that like?
I think there's a trend starting to develop here. Getting in the England squad in the first place was a major achievement.
Yeah.
I was with a lot of friends in a sense, because I knew a lot of the players there. Again, this is 90s drinking culture. So you're kind of friends with everyone, drinking, preparing for games, which you're not playing in. What I didn't appreciate or understand was what you do when you're not playing. So I remember those first few squads, it's kind of, well, what do we do now? We're not on the bench. Or we go to the bar and have a drink.
Okay.
So I'm with a group of players getting drunk at Wembley while the game's going on, because that's what people did.
Right. Okay.
In time, being dropped. I mean, I 13 years in England. I don't know if it's not necessarily a badge of honour in one sense, but I can't think of any other goalkeepers who got dropped as many times and back into the England squad as I did. So I learned kind of each time I got dropped, why I got dropped, going back to sort of understanding. The first bit was that I just didn't really understand how to do the England thing. Then into my 30s with Villa, I used to go England to be the best, even if I wasn't number 1, 2 or 3.
Yeah.
Proper training, looking after myself, and just, I want to say being ready, which wasn't always the case, because famously I wasn't ready and absolutely ballsed it up. Got dropped. Played Denmark, and I didn't think that I was going to be substituted on because I was number 2 goalie. Took one pair of boots with me, which split in a training session the night before. Didn't do all my psychology, imagery work, preparing for the game, and then got told the next day, "Oh, you're going on at half time." And it was like, oh. And I played like a guy who'd never played for England before. I was rubbish.
And that's because you're such a creature of habit, and because your habit you didn't go.
And we were basically told that England weren't going to do mass substitutions, and goalies were never part of the substitution plan. So this was something I wasn't prepared for. Now I got dropped from the England squad after that, and I had to work my way back into it. And my favourite story was Ukraine away. With Wayne Bridge, and we're getting ready. I'm number 2, Rob Green starting.
Right.
I used to take 2 Pro Plus for every game. And now I'm on a bench and I'm like, Bridgie, what do I do? Do I take 2 Pro Plus and be sitting in, not get on, be sitting in my bed at 4 o'clock in the morning, buzzing my nuts off? Or do I not take 2 Pro Plus, come on after 15 minutes and have a Denmark? And I knew what to do, so I popped the Pro Plus. Sitting watching the game, 15 minutes in, Rob Green gets sent off. So I go. We ended up losing 1-0, but I like to think I did all right in the game. I made one of my best saves, I think, for England in that game. Whatever. But the point was, without Denmark, I wouldn't have had that mindset. And it's, you need the rough
100%.
to appreciate the smooth.
And also, it's because you mentioned about you don't think you're probably one of the only keepers who got in, got out. Do you feel that you're do you feel I'm trying to put it, that you was not unfairly treated, but didn't get a fair run at being England number 1?
Yeah, I could if I wanted to.
Okay.
I could if I wanted to. I could always blame someone else.
Right.
The reality is, I think that I didn't perform the way that I should have done at any given moment that allowed me to be dropped. I mean, Steve McLaren one was a weird one because he was a new manager. But I got back into the squad after that. If I look for other people to blame, then I'll spend the rest of my life blaming other people. Do I regret it? I'll go back to this sort of dream state vision of what a career looks like. I can regret every time I made a mistake.
Yeah, of course.
But I wouldn't be the person I am today if I hadn't made those mistakes. And as a coach and as a manager, I try and use bad experiences for good as well as good experiences as well. So, yeah, 53 caps. I should have had more, could have had more. But then I could have, and I try and say to people, if I'd have done the thing better that got me out the side, I don't know where I'd be today.
I feel you. I know what you mean now. I know what you mean. Tell me, what's the biggest difference between international football and domestic football? What's the biggest difference?
Quality of player.
Yeah.
100%. 100%. Oh, we had training sessions, and this week it's all linked. When you're in the squad and you see the players, you get used to the quality of them.
Right.
But when you're out the squad, you think you've got the quality, and then you go back into the squad, and then you go, oh, Ashley Cole was the best player. Forget left back. He was one of the best players I've ever played with.
Yeah.
The guy was ridiculous. And you've seen him in training going, oh my goodness, this guy is amazing. And then the Beckhams, the Rooneys and Lampards of this world. And it doesn't mean that we had the best team to win everything. We should have won things. It just meant we had the quality of players in there, which were different level. So I get
two players that for you, he was just like, shit. Like you said, Ashley Cole. So other than Ashley Cole, two players that you're just like, not all, but you're just like, yo, flipping.
I could do more than two. I mean,
yeah, but we'll be all day.
I mean, Wazza was a joke.
Yeah.
And he was fun.
Yeah.
He was competitive, and I'm sure he won't look at me in the same way as I looked at him, but I would. We used to do this game like halfway line, back of the net, no bounce, under the crossbar, as in the ball had to be drilled. So we would just go pow, 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 and it was kind of like, yeah. And then we'd do shooting sessions. He'd take the piss, and I would walk off thinking, I don't like you because you're just a little bit too good.
Too good.
Scholes is another one. I mean, these guys were the best because this is what people I think don't see necessarily or appreciate. They weren't just the best because they were naturally good. I don't believe that concept. These guys worked hard at being the best, even if it was in fun. Yeah, Bex, Frank, Rio.
Yeah.
Rio's another one. He was a guy that would tell me off for doing things that he didn't like in a game. And I'd be like, okay, mate, yeah, I get you. But he was straight away, it was like, look, yeah, okay, cool.
Okay.
Cool. I respect that.
Yeah. Let me ask this question. You tell me if it's any different. Is there a difference from losing for England or just losing a game internationally and losing a game from your domestic club? What's that
all
feeling?
Day long.
Tell me.
So, how can I describe this? You have, for want of a better expression, a localized support for your club. Now, we're talking worldwide if you're Liverpool in that context, but it is still a localized support. So when I go for Liverpool, for Portsmouth, Man City, West Ham, whatever, if I go to another club, everyone there hates me.
Yeah.
Or us, you get that.
Yeah.
When it comes to England, give or take, everyone's behind you. So if it's good, bad, indifferent, you'll walk down the street and someone will mention it.
Yeah.
Because they're interested in England. If it's Liverpool, Portsmouth, Villa, whatever, locally you might get a few comments, but nationally doesn't affect you so much. When it's international, everyone seems to know. It's a different level.
What do you think's England's chances are this year?
Winning it.
For real?
Oh,
Yeah? For real? You think like it can come home in that?
Yeah.
And England are not just going to come home. I'm just...
But there's a couple of parts of this. I am an England fan. I will support my country. I've worn the shirt and I want our team to win the World Cup. There's that part of me. But also we have the ability to do it. And what I get challenged with as anyone who supports any team does, will get challenged by the other options. Oh, the Spains, the Frances, the Brazils, the whatever. And I'm thinking, well, every argument you put forward for England not winning, I can put for any one of those teams.
Okay. Yeah.
Because no one's guaranteed to win this tournament. So why can't England win the World Cup?
I hear it. To be fair, I hope they do. Nigeria's not in it, so yeah,
we're a decent second option. Yeah, thanks.
Give me one moment in your England career which stands out for you.
Oh, there isn't one. I mean, making my debut was important.
Right, who was that against?
Mexico, 2-0, Wembley. Teddy Sheringham, Robbie Fowler. Didn't make a legitimate save, dropped 3 crosses. I was pretty crap, but it was my debut. And I kept a clean sheet. Making my debut in the World Cup at 39 was more impressive on a completely different level.
I feel you.
Because I was given the opportunity to represent England in a World Cup competitive game at the age of 39. When I was 27 making my debut, it was kind of, it's a friendly against Mexico, all the best. The fact that I'd been dropped so many times and got back into squads, the fact that at 38 years old, I was asked by Fabio Capello to be the number one. It was kind of like, I don't know if it was a reward for what's stubbornness, naivety, ability, whatever it was.
It was
Just to play that crap game against Algeria, 0-0, one of the worst World Cup games in history. But it was my debut, and that's probably the one.
It's all the above, by the way. That mindset and that mentality to keep coming back and then achieving that at 39. I know the way you talk about stuff is like, yeah, you can't, but that's such a bad boy achievement. Let me just,
Thank you.
Let me ask a question about England. Who was the first to buy a round on those nights out?
Oh, an England night out?
Yeah. When they're not England nights out?
No.
To be fair, it makes sense, actually.
No, we'd meet up in a hotel, and did we ever? No. We meet up in a hotel in the 90s.
Right.
We meet up in a hotel, and the bar would be open, and we would just drink. Did we have a night out? It might be one night. No. We never. It's England. You don't have to pay for your drinks.
I wouldn't know about that, but I would know.
Well, in the 2000s, we didn't drink. So
I'll give you. All right, cool. So we talked about the. So you've seen, every generation of Premier League goalies. To you, how different do you think that position's changed?
Okay, I think the obvious changes are rule changes, which will force the goalkeeper to have to be better in different departments. So, it's the early 90s, the back pass rule. Yeah, people don't even talk about it now because it's
crazy now. I can't even remember football when you could pass it back and pick it. Like, wait, what? You could?
So all of a sudden, a goalie had to be able to control a ball.
Yeah.
Obviously, it sounds so ridiculous now, but that made goalkeeping change.
Yeah.
The change of the goal kicks inside the box rather than having to go outside the box meant that teams would build up from the back. All these things. People talk about he's got to be good with his feet. I think it's a complete misnomer.
Okay, elaborate on that.
Well, all you need to do is control the ball and pass it to one of your teammates. It's not difficult, and you practice that. So if you got anything about you, then practice means that shouldn't really be a big separator. And I think I've heard Dave Seaman say, I wouldn't be able to survive in today's game. He would have, because he would have learnt.
Well, I get you.
He didn't just stand there and make saves. He was a top draw goalkeeper.
And you don't think the level of the way keepers can pass like some midfielders is... Not that you don't think it, you don't salute it, because of course you appreciate that they must have put time in to be able to go and do that. But you don't think that there's that...
I'll tell you what, when I was 30, and I go back to Paul Barron, he got a kicking coach in. And I was like, what are you doing? And he went, yeah, we've got a kicking coach in. He happens to be Johnny Wilkinson's kicking coach. And I was like, what do I need a kicking coach for? I can kick it 70 yards. We did one session. And afterwards, I learned how to kick a ball.
Okay.
And I was like, this goes back to, everything's interlinked, goes back to Gerard Houllier. Patrice, who was his number two, I remember I was out Melwood and there was a goal 30 yards away. And he went, hit the goal, kicked the ball and didn't hit the goal. And got another one and kicked it and didn't hit it. And at the time, I didn't think anything of it.
Yeah.
Other than I was frustrated that I didn't hit the goal.
Yeah.
After what I did at Villa with a kicking coach, I realised how bad I used to kick the ball. So all of a sudden it was like a bit of training and I'm kicking a ball properly. I had control over this ball. And the goalkeepers today, you'd like to think, are getting the kind of training that I had, so they have control over the ball. Whether they can pass like midfielders, I mean, slightly different in midfield, as you know, being an outfield player, you have to read 360. The goalie is pretty much in front. So you take that side out of it, because that's a rule change more than anything else. What I see today from the basic goalkeeping, stopping the shot from going in the back of the net, it's not a lot of difference. And you can argue we're still humans, and therefore humans can only do what humans can do. But I don't see a massive improvement where I'm talking about a goalie coach in 2000. My first full-time goalie coach was at Liverpool in 94, 95. I'm actually in the process of getting my goalkeeping A license because I want to see what goalie coaches is from the other side.
Okay.
There are things like goalie assistants now. Goalkeeping coaching assistants. That's a job.
So assistant to the goalie coach.
Yeah. So you've got first team goalie assistant, then academy goalie, and whatever else is there. I mean, there are so many coaches out there designated to improve the goalkeeper, and I do not see a massive improvement in goalkeeping. And it's a weird one. Something's wrong somewhere, or maybe humans just aren't meant to stop shots the way that I think they should.
Let me ask then, because you said you watch goalies, and right now in the Premier League, who do you think's the best? Give me a few Premier League goalies that you think, yeah, you know what, top tier.
In a perfect world without injuries and all that stuff, I think the one goalie who influences the game the most in the most different ways is Ali at Liverpool.
Yeah, best keeper.
He consistently makes big saves in big moments in games. There are flaws to his game. He's not 100% everywhere, but there isn't anyone who is 100% everywhere, and I don't think there ever has been. But his distribution can be top draw, passing out the back, all that stuff, is reading the game. I mean, he influences games more, I would argue, than even David Ray. David Ray has had a sensational season. He's also played in a lot of games where he's had no saves to make, which have added to his clean sheets, which is is a world which I would hate to have lived in as a 20-year-old, and a world I love to live in as a 30. Clean sheet, fantastic. He had no saves, I don't care. I was ready if I needed to be. Whereas when I was 20, it was like, oh, why didn't someone shoot? And getting really frustrated. But the physical capabilities of the goalkeeper, I think, are always going to be and this is the dynamism. But it depends on what team you're in. So Nick Pope for Newcastle is their best goalie. They play when he's at his best and the team play. He is the right goalie. But he will not have to do half the stuff that David Raya or Ali are expected to do. But it works for Newcastle.
Yeah.
Whether you put Nick Pope in Liverpool and he got better results is arguably, I wouldn't think so. So there is a caveat to everything. I mean, I just think that Ali... I'm a fanboy. He's my post-career Bruce Grobbler.
Okay, yeah, because I ain't gonna lie, forget, I think he's top tier. I'm gonna ask, so if he's your fanboy, what goalie out there reminds you most of you? I know, bad boy question.
Sanchez. Aesthetically, there's an obvious link.
Oh,
but he's a little bit older now because I think he's 27. But I looked at him, especially at Brighton, and I was like, you can do all the things that I could do. You know, you can run out and catch crosses. You can throw yourself from one side of the goal to the other. You can boom it.
He's at Chelsea, by the way, yeah?
He's at Chelsea now, but I looked at him at Brighton.
Okay, yeah.
When he was 24 years old. And there were bits where I was like, I'd love to coach you.
Right.
And it doesn't mean I'd get you thrown around again, but I'd love to be involved in your development because I see the physical capabilities. And I also see where there were things that I wasn't necessarily doing right that I see him doing. I was like, okay, yeah, I get it. Maybe this is a conversation. I might be wrong. Maybe he's maxed and he's always going to be that way. But there's a bit where I look at it and go, okay, I get you.
I get it. Let me ask this, right, as a goalie. Do you think superstar goalies are paid the same as superstar outfield players? Do you think...
Are paid the same?
Yeah.
No.
And why would you think that? I mean, why do you think the reason is not that? Why do you think that? You know what I mean?
They don't... I'm going against goalkeeping fraternity here.
I know,
they don't win games.
You don't think like Ray of this season's won?
Well, there's 5 games I can think of. Well, not I can't name every one of them, but my data tells me there's 5 games at least. There's probably more where he's had no saves to make.
Okay.
So are you going to give him clean sheet bonuses for? He probably gets clean sheet bonus, but were you going to give him more for doing nothing or less? Whereas, I don't know, Havertz, for example, he probably deserves more, or Saka.
You say Saka because Havertz is, Sorry,
I'll give you a stat.
We got Arsenal man here. That's
I'll
why
give
I
you a
like to
stat.
say that.
Kai Havertz had scored his first 4 shots in the Champions League competition this season, and his 4th shot was in the final.
He scored. So I said he scored
In the Champions League this season, his 4th shot was his 4th goal in the Champions League, which was in the final.
So that means he was clinical as hell.
100% in the Champions League.
Yeah, that's because he didn't
To
play.
the point before the game, I said to my friend, Kai Havertz will probably score tonight.
Yeah, but it's because he didn't play in the league and that, so he had
Well, you can make whatever excuse you want. Yeah, but it's all going back to
I just want to know, you just remind me, did they win it? No, it's too soon. Anyway, let's just...
No, he forced the draw. He forced the draw.
I'm playing,
I know, I can see him over here. The room's just got hot here because someone's steaming up over there, yeah.
Let me ask this question, right? Because we're going to wrap this up though, right? What would DJ tell the 22-year-old DJ who just signed for Liverpool now? What would you say to him now?
I think, I can't contradict myself. I'd just say, you'll be all right, whatever. But if there was if I could put myself back in, if I knew that 22-year-old DJ would end up sat here, weirdly, then it would all be exactly the same. So maybe I had my headphones on. Then I would say enjoy it, or enjoy it more.
Yeah.
Let
me ask this, right? In 20 years' time, when people talk about DJ David James, what would you like people to... Dr. Wessex,
I'm not concerned.
I knew I swear that I knew you was going to say this.
Yeah, I'm not concerned. The thing, the wonderful thing about football is you have an opportunity to do something, and however you do it is the way it is. And if people want to talk about it, and what I love, I meet people all the time who went, you were the reason why I did this, which is probably the best it can be, or it is, my first shirt was yours, or I remember you playing in this game. And it's kind of like, I was on that pitch and you saw me, and it's nice that you got reference. I'm sure there's people I don't meet who've got different stories, but it's kind of like I had my go, and it's, yeah, as I said, I'm sort of sat here fortunate enough to be able to have this conversation. So whatever happens in 20 years, I'll probably be playing my great grandkids.
Yeah, man, it's a blessing. That's a real blessing. So we spoke about criticism, pressure, trophies, resilience. Talked about that in abundance, about you and your essence. So let me ask you a question. To you, what does beast mode mean to you?
Do you know what? It's walking in a footballing context.
Yeah.
It's walking onto a field and saying, I am ready, and I know that me being ready will be good enough.
That's it. I'm glad you didn't say anything else, because that was it. Listen, I'm going to say this, right? And even when we spoke, and I said this before we even put the cameras on, that the reason why I wanted to do this is to sit down with people that inspired, that had an element in my life where I'm like, yeah. And I said to you, I think you're a certified legend. Listen, I think if we was talk through every aspect of your career, we'd be here for days, just because of what you achieved, trials, tribulations, and exactly where your mindset was stating that, you know what, you don't do things for others, you do things for yourself. And I just want to say, first, thank you for being you. Second, thank you for the time. And brother, you are a certified legend. And this conversation, it was intriguing, and it was everything I thought it would. So blessings, my brother.
Well, can I say thank you for having me on? And more importantly, thank you for getting me talking.
All right, blessings, cuz. All right, thanks, man.